भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ।
Dear friends, welcome back to the study of the Mundaka Upanishad. We were studying the second chapter or the second section of the second Mundaka. The subject matter of this chapter was having established what are the performance of Aparavidya, what are the results achieved by Aparavidya has been discussed before in the previous section of the first section of the second Mundaka. Now the teacher says there are two avenues or two subjects of knowing, Aparavidya and Paravidya. Aparavidya has been now discussed. Now the time of Paravidya to be known and to be understood in its real meaning is being now discussed. Now we have studied the first 9 shlokas, first 8 shlokas. Those 8 shlokas have told you what is the goal, how to achieve it, and he's continuing to tell you how to achieve it up to the 8th shloka. From the 9th shloka tells you what happens to you. As for instance, in Aparavidya Vishaya, if you perform correctly, thoroughly, perfectly, excellently, the rituals that are mentioned, you will achieve these definitive goals. So, it is goal-oriented, incentive-oriented, by motivating you, this is what you are supposed to get, you do this. What do I get by this back-breaking tapasya, hard work, mental self-imposed discipline? What do I get? Though the 9th shloka will tell you what do you get. And the 8th shloka is the last shloka to tell you the procedure, the attitude by which, if you follow correctly, you'll be able to reach that goal. And where is that goal anchored? Where is that goal placed? Where is it to be found? He makes it absolutely clear. The Rishi, the author of this Upanishad, makes it absolutely clear. Don't look in clouds in the skies, in the heavens. He is anchored within you. What you know as I am, in reality, it is Brahman is. I, because of my stupidity, my foolishness, my ignorance, I think I am a separate entity. So the remaining 4 shlokas, 9, 10, 11, 12, deals with that. That now please kindly make sure this is the goal that is waiting for you. And these are the various different attitudes, various different disciplines following which you may reach that goal. It depends on your total dedication, total determination, and more than total involvement. It is up to you. He was only telling you what to do, how to go about it, what will happen to you, and what is the end result of that happening. This is how the second section or chapter of the second Mundaka deals with. It has given you a very good example of an arrow, a bow, and an object. And he has always said that the bow is a wisdom that is generated by the study of the Upanishads. That is the bow. That's the bow. Arrow is yourself, your determined effort, the effort of the jiva, that individual soul who is being battered by the circumstances of events of life. That soul with a sharpened, honed, polished attitude is the arrow. And as you pull the bowstring set arrow in its place and pull it right up to your ears with your left hand forward, you let it go. It will pierce through the object. That is the example that he has been given. Now I will repeat shloka number 8 for a while and then move on to shloka number 9. Manomaya prana sharira neta pratishtita anne hridayam sannidhaya yat vijnanena paripashyanti dhira ananda rupam amritam jat vibhati. This is the original shloka. What does it mean? As I keep on telling you, word to word meaning first, shabdartha jnanam, then meaning of the sentence paraphrased is bhakyartha jnanam, meaning of the sentence, bhakya here is sentence, and finally lakshartha. What is lakshartha? The intention of the author. What does the author try to carry to you by proper usage of word? Keep your imagination on hold. Use your imagination according to the guidance of the author. If you don't follow the guidance of your author, then you will be going to somewhere where the author is not intending to reach you or to take you. Therefore, lakshartha should be preceded by shabdartha and bhakyartha. Don't make it an independent venture. You'll go wrong. Now let us see. Shabdartha, word to word meaning. Manomaya prana sharira neta. He is. Neta means niyantrana karta. He is the guiding force who takes you from this body to the other body and from that body to the other body till you come to realize your true original nature. Manomaya prana sharira neta niyantrana karta. He who is the manager, the doer. What does it mean? That means I am alive today. Somehow or other, I have been exposed to the wisdom of the Upanishads, and it has caught my fancy, and I'm trying to perform the teachings of the Upanishad, and before I reach my goal, I die. The question is this effort that I have put in this body evaporates like camphor? Does it disappear like the autumn clouds? When the sun is bright, if you look to see those white puffy clouds in the sky, when the sun is up, you will find because of the heat of the sun, the cloud slowly and slowly dissipates and then disappears. So all the effort that I do in my life this time, does it evaporate like camphor or does it disappear like the autumn cloud? This is what Arjuna asked Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. That question in mind is being explained here. Well, no, dear, no. He, the Lord God of the universe, the ruler of our destiny, He keeps a very, very proper, correct account of your activities. Physical, emotional, rational. And when you die, you are born again with the backing of this karma that you have created in this life. Now, I had a previous life, so you cannot imagine the heap of karma that follows us, is on our shoulder. It's our backpack, as it were. We are carrying this baggage, as it were. Now, who decides what will happen to me? And his decision is not arbitrary. He wills it this way, it happens. No, he has created a law and he follows that law. That means you will be born again in an atmosphere, in a situation, in a surrounding, in a family, where there is a possibility of your unfulfilled desires and the karma to be fruitful in this life. This is the eternal law of cause and effect, not only eternal, infallible law of karya, karana, sambandha, the relationship between cause and its effect. Manomaya, prana sharira. This sharira, it has a mental mind, mental body inside, the life force inside. This body is Annamaya Kosha. And I told you a little suggestively last time, let me put it very straight. Though it is a little deviation, but it is relevant. It is said that the Jivatma has 5 sheaths. What are those? The first is, I am aware I am this gross body. I am this body. Annamaya Kosha, gross body. Manomaya Kosha. Kosha means a sheath, a covering. You have seen swords in a sheath. The sword is totally different from the sheath, but is covered up, you don't see it. until unless you bring it out, or until or unless you remove the sheath. You don't see the sword. Kosha means a covering, a sheath. Annamaya kosha is this gross body. Manomaya kosha is that mind which keeps on moving. And I know by my mind. I decide what to do, not to do by the capacity of this mind. Manomaya kosha. I identify with my life forces. I identify myself with my movement of the mind, with my life forces, with my buddhi, intellect, which has a discriminative power. This is not this. A positive cognitive effect. Sanshayatmika manaha, nishayatmika buddhi. The Annamaya kosha, Manomaya kosha, Pranamaya kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha is intellect, and Anandamaya kosha. And when all these 5 sheaths are removed, that is your true original nature, Paravidya Vishaya, the Atman. When you look at it subjectively, who am I? I am the Atma. How? I have disidentified myself with my body, my mind, my buddhi, my life force, etc. I am. The ego is there. That ego has to also go. And you are what you are. So aham asmi. I start with this question, kah aham asmi, ko aham asmi, who am I? And with this process of elimination of this sheaths of ignorance, I say, so aham asmi, ko aham asmi, who am I? So aham asmi, I am that. Indescribable but experienceable. How? I know I am. Can I put it on a plate for you to see my amness? It is experienceable by me, but I can't describe it to you. It is experienceable, not describable. So he says, Pratishtita anne. In this body, you need this body to experience what is to be bodiless. You need this body. This is an instrument, as you have 4 different rockets. First phase, second phase, third phase, fourth phase. They boost you up. The first phase does its work, falls off. Ignites the second boosts you further up, falls up. Ignites the third, it takes you up further, falls off. The fourth one takes you to the border of gravitation, pushes you in and falls off. And you are in orbit. This is a very gross example. Similarly, I am not this body. I am not this mind. I am not this buddhi. I am not this life force. I am not this ego. Who is thinking? Me, a jiva, a human being. So I need this body to go beyond the body. That is why he uses the word Pratishtita anne. He resides in this. Where does he reside? Hridaye sannidhaya. Hridaya, the source of your capacity to feel, to experience. He resides there. That is your true, real, original nature. Manomaya, Prana, Sharira, Neta, the divine, helps you to migrate from this life to that life with all the baggage that you have created by karma, and he ordains. He decides where, when, how, in what circumstances and what time you will be born. The birth is conditioned by your unfulfilled desire, but a human has a free will. He can use this opportunity, he can abuse this opportunity. That freedom is given to a human. Ingenuity, kartum, akartum, annatha kartum, ma shakyam. I can do it, I need not do it, I will do it in my own way. This freedom is given only to a human, the only biological creature that has this freedom. Even gods don't have this freedom. They are only enjoying the results of their good deeds. And when it is done, they come to the worth again. So, Hridayam Sannidhaya is the two words which you must underline. Hridayam Sannidhaya. Samyak Rupena Nidhaya. It is very, very properly, correctly placed there to be experienced there. Manomaya Prana Sharira Neta Pratishtita Anne But Hridayam Sannidhaya Tat Vijnanena. Experiencing that. What? He who resides deep within yourself, deep within your capacity of experiencing. Be very precise with your words now, because if the words are precise, the meaning is precise. Meaning is precise, your understanding is clear. That is why there's so much of importance given in choice of correct, perfect words. So, the first two lines say, he who guides your destiny from one birth to other birth, he is in you, in this one of those covered by these 5 sheaths. And where is he to be found? He is to be found in your faculty, your capacity of experiencing. Manomaya Pran Sharira Neta Pratishtita Anne Hriday Sannivishta Sannidhaya. And then Tat Vijnanena. There you are. Jnana is knowledge. Vijnana is experiencing that intellectual conviction. Vishesha Jnana. I know you are sitting in presence of me. How do I know? How does this knowledge generate? My sense organ known as vision with the mind goes out there. It encircles you, figures you out, brings that picture back onto your retina. That picture with different light and shade irritates or stimulates your optic nerves. And those optic nerves being stimulated carried the sensation of stimulation to that part of the brain. And that part of the brain absorbs those stimulations and converts into another form of stimulation known as idea, thought. And then that idea tallies with your past memory, and I say, oh, my dear friend is sitting in front of me. I am seeing him. The knowledge is complete after this subtle. That is knowing. Now, I am. Say, for instance, by way of an example, I put you into a cubicle. In that cubicle, I put a little possibility of air and oxygen for you to breathe, not to suffocate. It is lightless, so your eyes don't function. It is soundless, your ears don't function. It is smellless, your nose doesn't function. Odorless, you're not allowed to touch anything. And you are not allowed to taste anything. All your 5 avenues are blocked. Artificially, mechanically. But I can't stop you. I can stop you from seeing, from hearing, from smelling, from tasting, from touching. Because you are enclosed in that cubicle where 5 objects of your 5 sense organs are not there. But I can't stop you from feeling I am. Swamiji has enclosed me, imprisoned me in this cubicle. I am. I feel. I am enclosed. And Swamiji has done it. I can't stop this from you. This will work. Sasambedya Chaitanya. It doesn't depend upon anybody. It is self-dependent, independent. So, tat vijnanena paripashyanti dhira. Dhira, plural is dhira. Who is a dhira person? Who has practiced, not only practiced as a discipline, that practice has matured. Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhan. That is it. That is, he has mastered the art of self-control and his mind stays where he asks him to stay. Like a pot of clay, you fix it up, it remains there. You, by your discipline, by your Sama, Dhamma, Uparati, Titiksha, and etc., by the teachings of your Guru, and by the determined help of yourself to do that, to be that, you vijnana, you experience your true original nature, which has been fortified by prior intellectual knowing. The study of the Upanishad is the intellectual knowing of the reality which you are supposed to experience. Tat vijnanena, knowing first intellectually and finally experiencing that as my true original nature. He is a Dhira Purusha, and he says Dhira plural. Anyone can have it. It is nobody's paternal inheritance. Each and every person is entitled to this, provided he follows the rules of the game. And when he experiences that, paripashyanti, he sees it in totality. In a lighter vein, it means you don't have 20% of Brahmajnana. You don't have 50% of Brahmajnana. Either you have it or you don't have it. There is Nishkalam Brahma. You cannot personify it. Dhira paripashyanti, parisamantat pashyanti. What does it mean? All inclusive. There's no exclusion. That is, when you wake up from samadhi, the trauma, the impact of the trauma is so deep that your personality undergoes a total change, and you cannot forget that that is my true original nature, and I am in this body and I'm in the whole universe. Paripashyanti dhira. He feels and he experiences the awareness of his own being in all around. And how does he feel? He feels Ananda Rupam Amritam Jat Bibhati. Bibhati means it manifests. A glorious manifestation of Ananda Rupam Amritam. Amritam is endless, deathless. Ananda Rupam is Ananda Swarupam. Sat Swarupam, Chit Swarupam, Ananda Swarupam Atma. Satchidananda Swarup Atma. That is the quantum of your experience. That is what you will experience, to the extent that it is describable by proper choice of words. He is doing his best here. Tat Vijnanena, what is that tat? That which is all permeative. There is no exclusion. The whole world is a manifestation of his being. And then the next very important shloka from the Upanishad is Bacharambano vikara namadheyam matram anritam mrittika ityeva satyam. What does it mean? It means a student could not understand what is this all-pervasiveness, all-permeating. There is not a speck of space, not an iota of time. He is not. He could not understand. It is so subtle for him that the teacher takes him to an earthenware workshop. The earthenware makers, the people who make earthenware, kumhars, he has a wheel, potter's wheel, a potter's stick, and he puts clay there, and with his intelligence, he creates thousands and thousands of different types of earthenware. Potter is the creator. His creation is 1,000 different earthenware. It has a different name, different size, different shape, different utilitarian value. A glass is used to hold liquid, a plate is used to keep dry things, and so on and so forth. The teacher asks the student, what do you see? I see thousands and thousands of different things. Says, is that so? And you can't see anything beyond? No, sir, I don't see. I'm carried away by Bhacha Arambhana, Vikara Namadeyam. Each and everything has a name because of its different shape, because of its different utility, and they are infinite in diversity. Go and get a stick, he says, and break everything here. What remains? The shape and the size, the utilitarian value, and everything has disappeared. Pieces of clay remains. He says, name, form, utilitarian value, and etc., nama, rupa, guna, artha, kriya, karitya, they are only in appearance. They have no reality. Comparatively, mrittika iti eva satyam. The earth is the reality behind this diversity. Bhacharambanam vikara namadeyam matram. Anritam, unreal. Mrittika iti eva satyam. The earth is the reality behind the appearance. The reality is that eternal Sridharananda, which has to be realized firstly within yourself, and then you realize it elsewhere. That's it. Tat Vijnanena, experiencing that. What does that person who experiences that? What is the quotient? What is the quantity of his experience? You have denied everything. Annamaya kosha, pranamaya kosha, manamaya kosha, vijnanamaya kosha, you have denied everything. Anandamaya kosha. What remains? I'd like to. Does he remain in a void? Is he as inanimate as a piece of stone? No. Ananda rupam jat amritam vibhati. Jat vibhati, which manifests all that. How? Ananda rupam amritam. It is eternal, it is beyond time, it is deathless, changeless. You experience that all the time. So, the teacher of this Upanishad now is coming to the close after telling you the back-breaking discipline that you'll have to follow, after telling you the back-breaking discipline that you have to follow, what is waiting for you round the corner. What will you achieve? This is what you will achieve. Jad ananda rupam amritam tadabhibhati. Now, he further clarifies that quantum. What happens to you if you come back to this world? Please kindly try to explain. Try to understand. I'm sorry. I'll try to explain and you try to understand. That trauma, that impact of that experience, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the life force, I am not the intellectual being, I am not my ego, I am what I am. Good enough. But what is your feeling then? In the nearest possible words, he has explained to you, Tat Vijnanena Dhira Paripashyanti. having experienced that, the dhira, the achievers, they see, they experience. What do they experience? Ananda Rupam Amritam Jad Vibhati. It is Satchidananda Rupam Shivoham Shivoham. That is what he says. Now what happens, dear? This traumatic experience is so strong. To some, they have that experience and this body cannot take that trauma. The waterfalls is coming from high up. If you stand below, you'll be blown into smithereens. You can't take it. Similarly, this experience is so traumatizing you, is so intense that your body is unable to hold it and it shatters away. Sri Ramakrishna used to say from the Upanishad, this body will wither away like a withering leaf on a tree in 21 days, and it will fall off, withered away. That is one. But if God so wills it, if the Supreme Lord, the Lord God of the universe so will it, He will maintain your body. Why? To make you an example to others who are trying to achieve, who have heard of it, to make you an example. It is possible, it is practicable, it is achievable, it is attainable. That is the Jivana Mukta Avastha. And secondly, your prarabdha has started to give in you fruit. Your prarabdha has predestined that by your continuing momentum that you have created to realize God in your past lives will come to a fruition. But there are other prarabdhas which are phalonmukh, which are going to give you result. So after that experience, your body remains. And your body goes through a bodily, mentally, emotional experiences. But you know they are all mitha maya. And when your prarabdha is over, you are dead and gone. Not to be burned again, you merge yourself with the Absolute, which you have done in your lifetime. The body falls off like a dry leaf. That is Jivana Mukti, Videha Mukti. After that, you are not born again. But God has His will to make use of you to be born again, to set an example according to God's will. That is Ishvara Koti. You belong to that category of God. He will call you, come, it's time for me to go. As He called Swami Vivekananda in the Saptarshi Mandala of the 7 saints. This is what it is. Now, we are going on to the 9th shloka. The 9th shloka develops the last 2 lines of the previous shloka. What happens to you? In precise, correct, descriptive words. What happens to you? Vidyate Hridaya Granthi. Granthi, that is knots. We have bound ourselves in knots and knots and knots of ignorance. And not only bound ourselves, we have identified ourselves with what we are not. That Hridaya Granthi, that is well within me, in the core of my heart, that knotting effect is totally torn asunder. Now there is no doubt. I have experienced who am I. All this study has been proved to be true. Even when I am studying, 1001 doubt comes up. That makes you totally doubtless. Samshaya. Bhidyate hridaya granthi chidyante sarva samshaya. Samshaya is doubt, samshaya is hesitancy, samshaya is confusion. All the confusion about what is this world, who made it, how is it made, and etc., 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 everything is as crystal clear to you as it could be possible. Vidyate hridaya granthi chidyante sarva samshaya shiyante cha asya karmani tasmin drishte paravare. He who is both in this apparent world and who is real behind this apparent world. When you experience him, all your karma till the time of your Jnanodaya, when you are experiencing that, all your past karmas will be burnt away. What will remain? The remaining prarabdha karma, which is that jivana mukta avastha. Vidyate hridaya granthi chidyante sarva samshaya. The knots of ignorance that is in your heart, which has possessed you, and you have identified yourself, all that knots of ignorant identity will absolutely removed. Chidyante sarva samshaya. All the doubts that you had about Brahma Jnana and Atma Jnana, all the doubts will go asunder totally. All the karmas that you have created in the past lives, till the point of knowing, they will be burnt asunder, accepting that karma which has given you this life. That is why Jivanamukta Purushas, some of them die then and there, some of them die after 11 days, 21 days, and some of them die when the prarabdha is over. But the previous karma is all burnt out. This is what will happen to you. 3 more shlokas remains, dear. It's in other form, explains this highly exalted position that you can achieve in this life. We'll come back to it again when we meet next time. Thank you, dears. Thank you ever so much. There are 3 more shlokas of this chapter. And the third Mundaka has certain examples given, but it only tells you, describes you, what is the condition of a Jivana Mukta Purusha, a realized soul, so that you have no doubt about it. As far as you are concerned, you will be doubtless when you achieve that. So he will describe the condition of Jivan Mukta, and he will tell you how to maximize your profit to live with a Jivan Mukta. He'll teach you, get the maximum out of this beehive. Get the maximum honey out of this honeycomb. This is the last chapter. which we'll read shortly. Thank you, dears. So we will study the 9th shloka for a while in the beginning of the next discourse and move on to the others. Thank you.
Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ram